Hello, hello, hello.
Years until Zeus finally decided to get with the gods and punish True, which would be Atlas, the Titan, the military commander of the Titans, would be True. Uh, Atlas was punished to hold up space and time forever, and so that's the picture of Atlas holding up the world. That's a punishment from Zeus. And then there's also Kronos himself, where Zeus actually punished him by banishing him to Tartarus, which is like below hell, and to be bounded there forever. And if I ever told the truth, if I ever used my lightning bolt of truth, of what actually happened, from my perspective, you could say, but of what actually happened for real, the things that we don't talk about, all of the hidden secret things that we don't speak on, that's a lightning bolt that would put him below jail, below the jail in hell. He'd go below that.
You'll put him below the jail. So whatever secret you're holding, if you tell it, he'll be truly, well and truly done for. But why don't you just tell who you got to tell? Because you didn't go to the hearing. None of you was allowed at the hearing. So, but you're saying that if you open your mouth, you'll put him underneath the jail. But you done stuff too. You done a lot of stuff too. Sorry, everything's starting so straight. Sorry, because my introduction won't work. So I'm gonna let it play till we get to the part about he owe him a daughter.
If someone else was in my position, they wouldn't even be on live. They would have probably put a hit out on him. But I'm love. I can't do that. I have to seek justice, and I have to let nature take its course. And I'm conflicted with, do I tell the truth? Do I use a lightning bolt? Now, Zeus's number one regret was that, well, not number one regret, one of his biggest regrets, though, was that maybe he punished the Titans a little too hard. But you know what? After that, Zeus was never really known to, like, punish anybody like that. Zeus only punished Kronos like that. Zeus only punished the Titans like that.
Zeus was a shape-shifting god who got one of the human women pregnant by shape-shifting into her husband. So how can you talk about Zeus, who is a Greek one who was a trickster? So you are a trickster then, ain't you? If you're Zeus, then you're a trickster.
And he locked them away forever. And the gods ruled with humanity, and humanity started to be raised, and then you have the rest of mythology coming from that. And yes, this is Greek mythology. You can say it's a white man mythology, but it's funny how the story's playing out. Very funny how the story's playing out. So when I use a lightning bolt, hey, what's good, Fi? When I use a lightning bolt, and when I say I have this lightning bolt, and when I send this lightning bolt, or when I say I'm Zeus, and when I talk about Kronos, now you know. Now you understand why I'm saying this. It's just funny how this played out like this. You guys want me to speak on the baby? This is a very, this is the one lightning bolt more than anything.
Yes, let's get to the baby part. That's the one thing everybody's asking. What happened to the baby? What happened to the baby? Was you involved? And what happened to the baby? Because you obviously didn't stand up as a man to save your child. And to be honest, you are the biggest coward going because You didn't step in at the times when the women was getting hit. You didn't step in when certain things was happening. You stood one side and watched everything. So therefore, um, you are a coward in my eyes, basically.
There's other things that, I don't even have to say or do because it's already on the way. There's nothing I have to do or say about those things. But one thing that I know is that that man owes me a daughter. He owes me one daughter. I'll tell y'all some cool, funny stuff. Why not? Fuck it. You guys can know some cool shit because I'm not going to use the lightning bolt yet, so I'll give you all the static charge around it. Princess, his daughter, is my goddaughter. I am Princess's godfather. If anything happened to Chief, I have to take care of her.
Is that a threat? What is that supposed to mean? You have to take care of her. Do you mean it like in threatening, like? Do you mean it like in take care, or do you mean it like as how? That's what I would like to know because you sound like you're threatening his child when you could have just faced the father and sort and dealt with the problem. But instead, you rather threat the child. The child's innocent in all this. It's not her fault. Her dad's a bastard. She didn't ask to be born to a bastard, and you because you know what happened to the baby, the child, so you're willing to do whatever to Princess so that you can get your revenge for your child, because that's what it's beginning to sound like to me. And I know you're talking in proverbs about what has happened with the camp, because you're not talking directly, you're talking indirectly. But what we are all asking is what happened to the baby? What happened to the baby? And I know you give away little bits, but but let's see.
Do we want to go that deep? Do we really want to go there? These are warning shots. This is the static charge. This is Zeus cultivating this bolt. If you keep playing with me, I will relentlessly, without regret, banish you to Tartarus. Kronos. You owe me one daughter. That little girl, me and her have such a special bond, and you know it. When she's with me, she just learns everything. Funny enough, her, Princess, and Janae actually have the same exact chart. They got the same chart.
Now he's talking carbonation chat. This is why when people's bigging up Solar and saying, oh, he's talking out, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's still got the carbonation thing in him, right? No matter how they change it around, move it around, alternate it, I can still hear carbonation. I still believe he's an active member. Um, he's saying that how Princess have the same chart. Princess meaning Nature Boy's daughter had the same chart as Janae. Now, what is that supposed to mean exactly? Because are you making a threat to Velvet? Because as much as I don't like Velvet and what she's about, I would not want to see anything happen to her or her daughter. So are you making a threat, an indirect threat? Once again, the group, the same person who was supposed to deal with Janae is the same person making more threats. But the things that you're doing it all online. Do you not think that the people are not watching your ass? You're making all these threats indirectly to Velvet Marquez. and her daughter. These people do not think for themselves. He's still brainwashed. I don't care what anybody says. Him, Musa, is still brainwashed. They're only running away from the group because they don't want what comes with the problem. That's what it is. They're running scared right now. So this one here is trying to say whatever he's got to say because he wants to keep everybody watching. He wants to keep us watching him. Yeah. And keep the buzz going around his name. Why would you say that he owes you a daughter? When you was there, you didn't protect the woman. You didn't protect the woman who was making the child. You didn't step up as a man. You wait to when the man's in jail, and now you're talking up. But now you're talking in proverbs, and then you're doing it all over social media. That's very interesting. I wonder if the law's looking at into this because you're literally making threats. Literally.
It's like the same person. Anything that that little girl needs, is she got it. I'm gonna let myself just be a millionaire, beyond abundant to every extent that I can, as fast as possible, so I can make sure that that little girl receives all of the love that was for my daughter and that I have for you. Everything that you hold dear, I probably hold it a little more dear. Especially the people that you call.
He sounds like he's gonna go and do something really crazy. Um, he sounds like he's gonna go do something crazy. It's not in so many words in what he's saying. Like even though he says he loves his nature boy's daughter the same way how he loves his daughter. I do get that in a good parents kind of sense, but he sounds really kind of off key. It's got off key feel to it. It doesn't sound right to it. It's something not right in the words. It's like you got to read between the lines when he's talking.
Your family, especially the people that you manipulate, that you call your family, that you beat, that you hurt, that you draw blood from. Those people, that family that you so longed for, I love them more than you know. When you weren't there, they ready to beat Zoka's ass. Who stepped in and was like, guys, Chief's not here. We gotta be Chief here. What would Chief do in the situation? We handle it like this. Boom, 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 boom. Because I know how to keep the knowledge. And
also, as he's talking, it's like he wanted to be chief anyway. So there's a lot of power struggle within that incarbonation. Um, he felt that he could have done a better job than Nature Boy. He just never spoke up. He never said nothing. Or maybe if he did speak to him, he will humble himself, like as you see him on camera.
from rage and aggression, ready to beat Zoka, smack the demons out of her, right? Just start smacking her, beating her until she's no longer in her demons. Instead of doing that, I said, let's talk about it. And how about y'all?
But she also beat Zoka too, because while she was pregnant, ex-member said that how he was beating Zoka. I think it was Star said that. So apart from Nature Boy hitting her, he was hitting her before when she was pregnant and all sorts. So you know. So you talking, but you was also there. You didn't stop him. There's how many men that was there when this girl probably was getting beaten, and none of you stepped in. Not one. Not one of you stepped in.
Look at yourselves too. How did we end that? Within minutes, hugging, loving, everybody dispersed after I cleared the air. And they're all just gonna go about their day. I said, hey man, everybody come back here. If y'all don't hug Zoka, if y'all don't hug each other and love on each other right now, people were crying, filled with love. That's how I handle situations. I don't see Chief handling situations like that. It gets down to the wire of where we're calling this gorilla pimping as a lifestyle that we subscribe to from a spiritual guru. I would really like to know where this makes sense. I never agreed to that. And I will admit to this truth, guys. I will tell on myself a little bit right here. I got to tell on myself a little bit. Is that, and I apologize for every time that I ever put my hands on Zoka. Anytime that I was ever rough with her, moving her around or anything, there's moments that we've had, in a relationship to where I'm thinking violence is going to be an easy fix because I see Chief doing it all day. And, I have to apologize for that. I did not know myself. I was raised watching my mother get beat. I was raised fighting men, beating men off of my mother. I was raised doing that.
So you dropped your principle because you saw Chief, who is so-called father figure, beating up the women in the group. You didn't stand up. You didn't take initiative. You didn't do nothing. You stood and you watched. And now you're apologizing. Why are you apologizing? Because you're apologizing on camera because you know that there's repercussions coming. There's repercussions along the way. And it seems like it's going to hit everybody, not just Nature Boy. Anyways, I'm going to let the rest of it play out. And you can leave a comment underneath the comment section, and you can tell me what you think of what he's saying, because I'm thinking he's saying a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff he's not saying, and there's a lot of things, especially when he talks about that he used to stand up for his mother, and he used to stand up when men used to beat her up. He used to beat up the men. But when you was in the carbonation situation, you didn't stand up, you didn't do nothing for them, for the women. You stood alongside and watched. Because you think he was right, and to you, that was a belief. That's a spiritual something. That had nothing to do with spirituality whatsoever. Belittling women.
You know what I'm saying? And now, I go to this place and I'm being taught that this is actually what you're supposed to do. And I'm watching this happen on a regular. Yeah, I definitely fell victim to that influence. And I came in I don't hold myself too badly. I don't feel too bad because I came in as a student. I came in as a disciple. I came in to learn. I came in to grow. I came in to build. I came in to evolve. Definitely came in to make his life better. I like what you're doing. I believe in what you're doing. You listen to what this guy's saying. That's it. That knowledge, that's it. And the knowledge is definitely true. The problem is that I'm the only one using it. I'm the only one keeping it. I'm struggling with my own self on releasing this energy that can be cultivated and equivalated to Zeus's lightning bolt. No, I'm not a victim. I signed up to be there, and I was there for a while, and I have to tell you the truth. It is what it is. Your boy had no confidence in himself. I did not have confidence in myself. I was very alone. I was very depressed when I went there. I was looking for a real family. I was looking for camaraderie. I was looking for brothers. I always wished for brothers. And when I had brothers, it's like, yo, my wishes are coming true. I always wished I had brothers, and I had brothers.
I'm not listening to no more of this rubbish. I think he's just trying to cover his ass right now. Thank you for listening in. Who's ever around? This is basically how I think of Solar. Solar is definitely a number one coward. No, definitely. Okay, because a lot of them in the camp used to listen. Right, they used to talk to each other when they were in Puerto Rico. They was in a space together. Okay, so they had plenty of time to plan something to stop everything what was going on. Right, and they did nothing. Right, when Zoka found out she was pregnant, he seemed like he was happy to be a father, right? But he never stood up for her. He never be a man to her. So obviously, because Nature Boy was running the men, being the alpha men, and the men would just cower at his feet, she was obviously she'll be a little bit attracted to a man like that, even though he's not a man himself, right? So this man here, he's speaking all this because he's able to speak all this because maybe what's her Janae told him, oh yeah, well maybe like he should talk, but they always talk on social media and they never do what they're supposed to do. All right, in this cult is a very toxic cult. The men are taught the worstest way how to treat women. The women are seen as equal in the cult, and on top of that, as much as she was having a baby, he was beating her, and I think True was beating Sheba as well, right? So because he's saying all this now, he's saying all this because he wants to redeem himself. Now Fundifi made a real good point. Even the things he was saying, though they sound all nice and sweet and nice, but on the surface of it all, right, they did nothing. They didn't step in. They didn't say to him, look, stop. They didn't, you know, I mean, even if there was an isolated instances, right? When they were in certain places, right? When police used to come and check and stuff like that, right? They didn't stand up from to the man who was doing the most, right? Instead, they were cow at his feet. The only time he stood up to him was in Atlanta when they were talking about a scene light or something, and Solar spoke up about the scene light, and Nature Boy went into one, and then he brought him down from his wherever, from the height where he was, right? And you'll see that in other videos where him and Musa are kneeling and Nature Boy is telling them off. Now they could have rushed him because even he said they could have rushed, like they could rush me right here. There's so many of them. They can, right? They can get me. They can get at me now, right? None of them did nothing, and even just then, because he knows that he doesn't have to do much because like they are already captured, and whatever he said and whatever he did, they honestly didn't care. So him saying to him, oh, you owe me your daughter, and rare, because on top of that, there's allegedly things that may have happened to his daughter. So heaven knows what was going on anyway, because he's saying he's the godfather doesn't mean here nor there, because you had a chance to step up to be a father, and that, and whatever happened at the birth, I think somebody said something happened to the baby or she bled out or something, and whatever happened, you didn't stand up even till now. Though you still got much of a chance now to talk up now more than ever, and say what happened to the baby. Right? It's all and good you're saying, oh, this name, and if you go to whatever the place is, you can look it up. I mean, some people will look it up or try and find it, but you didn't step up as a man. And that is one of the strangest thing about it as well. And I'm not saying that some men obviously ain't going to be brainwashed by another man. But even when he's talking, he sounds like he's threatening Velvet's daughter. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I could be reading into it too much. Um, I don't think. I still think he's an active member of the cult. I don't care what anybody says. Um, I don't. I don't feel that he's left anything. He's still practicing the way of the cult. He's still doing astrology, living his life by the astrological um, forecasts. Um, I mean, him and Natiri can play it off as much as they want or whatever, but Zoka is really his wife, his first love. I don't think anybody will come into his life and change it for him when it comes to Zoka. So as much as Natiri can um, mm, what's it, hoodwink herself and think, yeah, he's all for me and da 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 da. Da. It's not so because him, Sola and Zoka, been through a lot together in that camp. They went through a lot, being separated from each other, being passed around, then being a nature boy's wife a couple times, then being pregnant, then losing her baby, which nobody ever reels from it. He, on the other hand, even after later on, he was still having his moment thinking about his baby. So I feel this man has not gotten over losing the baby. And I think he said he still loves Zokar. So there's nothing Janae can do that can make him shift his mind from whatever. But all this, what he's saying here, he needs to go tell it to the right people. And if he has done it, because he said that how he's got stuff that can send him underneath the prison. Okay, even though he's not saying it blatantly, he's not saying it, putting it into words, but that's what he's meaning to say. He says that he has stuff, meaning Zeus bolts, which means I'm holding all the secrets. I can let it out at any time. I can tell them stuff, and you will never see the light of day ever. So, um, please leave a comment underneath the comment box and tell me what you think. Or if I'm wrong, like I said, if I'm wrong, you could tell me I'm wrong. But that's what I'm hearing. It's a matter of reading between the lines because he's not really talking straight out. He's trying not to say his name. You know, he says he's saying his name, but indirectly. And he's not really saying a lot, but he's saying a lot at the same time. So I think I'm gonna leave it right there because, like, my signals are really, I mean, it's good so far, but so with that said, please like and subscribe. Please comment and tell me what you think. And have a good Saturday or good afternoon wherever you are. Take care.